friends, it's KT. Let's talk a little bit about darts. You know, one of the reasons I prefer foam-flinging and Nerf blasters over airsoft or paintball, aside from the fact that it's less painful and the people tend to be nicer, you get to pick up your ammo and reuse it. In fact, so much in games, you're picking up other people's ammo and shooting it right back at them. It's mildly better for the environment, and it's certainly cheaper. You don't have to buy a complete load of new ammo every single game. It does wear out, and you do need to buy new ones, but I do love being able to reuse it. That being said, darts get lost. It's such a common thing that it's a huge meme. Beyond that, Nerf in particular doesn't usually give you enough darts to fill all the dart storage on the blaster. Like, I just did a review on the Blast, which is a fun blaster, but they give you 12 darts, which fills the front 3 here, 6 on this side, and then 3 on this side, and leaves 3 openings. So kind of right off the bat, for pretty much any blaster that you buy, you're going to need to buy more darts to go with it. And there's a lot of darts on the shelf right now, and it can be kind of hard to tell what to get. When I came into foam flinging, I assumed that was still the case, assumed it really was Nerf or nothing, and that you really wanted the brand name stuff. I was so wrong. If I can keep one other parent from making that same mistake with this video, I will feel like it was well worth it. Now in this video, we're only going to talk about darts in the Elite Dart family, darts that are compatible with your most common Nerf blasters, and that typically will fit in a Nerf magazine. I'll have separate videos about other dart shapes like Ultra and Mega XL, as well as about Rival and Hyper and other ball-shaped ammo. Now the current form factor of the dart dates back to 2006 with Nerf's Streamline dart. The Streamline dart was an attempt to thin out the shape of the dart and allow it to fit in Nerf magazines, which were a new product from Nerf at the time. There were a bunch of varieties of this dart at the time. They were making Velcro tip darts for dart tag, which would come with Velcro targets that they could stick to. The Streamline dart and its variants reigned for 6 years until 2012 when the Nerf Elite Dart came out. This coincided with the release of newer, slightly more powerful blasters than the N-Strike blasters that came before. This is probably the iconic image of a Nerf dart that most people have in their mind. The blue bodied dart with the orange tip, which is kind of funny because you can't actually really get this exact color scheme brand new very easily anymore. Nerf has moved on to a virtual cornucopia of color options for the Nerf Elite Dart, which mostly come exclusively with blasters that they were designed for. Here is an Icon series dart, which makes bold claims about the dart being an Icon series dart on the box, but is literally just an Elite Dart that says Icon on it. Here is a Battle Camo dart, and if you can explain to me why you would want your darts to be camouflaged, I will be very impressed. Here's the blue and green color scheme that comes with Dino Squad blasters. Here's an all-green dart that came with the new Elite 2.0 Flip Shots line. Here's a blue and purple Fortnite dart. The one you're most likely to see on the shelves, though, is the Elite 2.0 dart, which either comes in this color scheme or the inverse of this color scheme with the blue body and a less bright orange tip than the original Nerf dart. Despite being called the Elite 2.0 dart, it is the same dart. There is no difference. The molding on the head is the same. Everything is identical. This one even has some glue kind of hanging off the edges. There is no difference between all of these Elite darts, except for the color. And in a lot of cases, the color is not a great choice. Take, for example, this all-green dart that comes with the Elite 2.0 Flip Shots line. I don't know how many of these are lost in my grass, because if you're playing with them outdoors, and you're near plants, these are going to disappear real fast. Similar situation with a lot of these where they're greens or camo or gray. These are very easy to lose. The orange tip seems like it might help, but when it sits in grass, that tip gets covered up between blades of grass, and you're just looking for a gray piece of foam. Now, Nerf makes a habit of releasing a dart type that's kind of subpar, and then eventually suddenly announcing a new and improved version of the dart, which they probably had designed from the beginning, but held off on you. And then that new dart type usually becomes pretty difficult to get your hands on. The Elite Dart is in fact pretty subpar. These have a tendency to fishtail and fly off to one side or the other, causing them to miss their targets and also get lost more frequently. The truth of the matter is the Elite Dart, regardless of its color, is a very inaccurate dart. This might not seem like such a big deal for your kid playing in their living room, but it's a bigger deal than you think. That kid's interest in sticking with this hobby and actually getting some enjoyment out of their new Nerf blaster somewhat hinges on their ability to hit a target. So eventually Nerf released this. This is the Nerf Elite Accustrike dart. As far as I understand it, the new head shape balances the weight a little bit, but also imparts a little bit of spin on the dart, which tends to keep it slightly more accurate. The other benefit of the Elite Accustrike was that it was orange, which seems like a small thing, but imagine looking for this in the grass versus looking for this. These are known to be much better darts, and for a long time these were highly sought after darts. They were produced in more limited quantities, and now they're basically impossible to buy new except at inflated prices by third-party sellers on Amazon. So of all the darts that we've talked about so far, the only one that you can actually go to a store and buy off the shelf is the Elite 2.0 dart, which, as we've said, is highly inaccurate and not really very much fun to shoot. But KT, I hear you cry, there's got to be a better way. There is. Enter Dart Zone, a company that has been making pretty high quality blasters now for a few years, and whose designs have really taken the hobby by storm in terms of just high quality off the shelf options for blasters and darts. This is the venerable Adventure Force Waffle Dart. You can still buy them there in packs of 200. They're significantly cheaper than Nerf's Elite 2.0 darts, and they fly much better, and they're much more accurate. It's not very often that you can get a better product for less money, but Dart Zone achieved that with the Adventure Force Waffle Dart. However, there is one significant issue with the Adventure Force Waffle Dart, and that is, again, its color. It's worth talking about what Adventure Force actually is right now. If you go into a Walmart store, you'll notice a large number of toys being sold under the Adventure Force name. Adventure Force is not a blaster manufacturer. Adventure Force is Walmart's toy brand that they rebrand other companies' products under. So Dart Zone, Zuru X-Shot, and BuzzBee Toys all make foam-flinging blasters under the Adventure Force name. And we'll get to these other darts in a minute, but as you can see, they're all green, which again, not a great color for playing outside in the grass. So while I do recommend these darts because they are so cheap and yet so good, there's still something better. Dart Zone also has exclusive products at Target under their own name. One of the darts that they've started to release with those blasters is this dart. Now when they released this dart, they called it the Diamond Dart or the Red Diamond Dart or something. Dart Zone fans started calling it the Chili Dart. That name kind of stuck and the brand officially changed the name to that. Some people also call them watermelon darts. They have a head shape similar to the waffle dart and similar flight properties, but they're red. They are so easy to find in the grass. I cannot tell you how life-changing it has been to get these darts in my hands and start using them in our yard. We actually recover the vast majority of our ammo now. Now, in this same family of waffle-headed darts, this is a generic waffle head dart. I don't actually remember where I got this or who made it. They can be a viable low-cost option, especially if you're going to have a ton of people over to play Nerf. But be wary. The glue quality on these varies widely, and the heads are generally come off very easily. If I try to separate this dart, the body of the dart bends with the head because the head is glued to the body of the dart all the way around. This one is only glued at the stem. And certain blasters have a tendency to rip the heads off of darts if you're not careful, especially high-powered flywheelers or really just any flywheeler. So be aware of that if you try to go for a low-cost option. Now, before we move on to the myriad of other full-length darts, Dart Zone does have some other options. The Adventure Force Pro line, which includes the Nexus Pro, the Aeon Pro, the Conquest Pro, which is still exclusive to Walmart. They are Adventure Force blasters. They come with this, the Pro Dart, which is a high-quality dart and has a tapered head. And the purpose of the tapered head, which is actually narrower than the body, is that in a Springer with a sealed breech and a metal barrel, the head friction will actually slow down the dart. These also are very accurate, they fly very well, but in terms of a buying guide for darts, these are not particularly relevant because they primarily come with the blasters. You can purchase them in smaller quantities, but they're most suited to the blasters that they're designed for. And the reality is most blasters at that level are actually shooting half-length darts. We'll get to that in a minute. It's also worth noting that Dart Zone has recently been having competitions to rename all of their darts. This one wound up being called the Ember Dart, but nobody calls it that. Everybody calls it the Pro Dart. This dart was also recently renamed in a Dart Zone competition as the Ruby Dart. Although the head shape and the shape of the holes in the dart are different, it's effectively the same thing as the Pro or Ember Dart. But a more interesting case is this, the Bamboo Dart. The Bamboo Dart can only be acquired by ordering directly from Dart Zone or through Target, and it comes in a pack with quite a number of these full-length ones as well as the half-length variant. This is a very good dart, and it performs similarly in springers to the Pro Dart or the Ruby Dart, sure, we'll call it that. It also has less friction because of the squeezed middle part of the dart, and so in some blasters it performs even better and hits harder. If you're just starting out and trying to pick out a dart for a kid, the difference between these 5 darts is not going to matter to you. You should probably, if possible, just buy the chili darts. But if for some reason one of these is more available to you, any of these will work fine in pretty much any blaster. And all of them will outperform Elite darts. Now there's a few other darts to talk about, and they mostly center around the other major companies that are making blasters right now. One such company is BuzzBee Toys. They're known for their garish, bright color schemes on their blasters. BuzzBee's current dart is the BuzzBee Long Distance Dart. They typically look like this in yellow and blue, although they also appear in other color schemes. If you go to Walmart and buy an Adventure Force blaster that's manufactured by BuzzBee Toys, you'll get this green and blue variant of the long distance dart with a color scheme to match the Adventure Force waffle head. These darts should not be confused with each other. Although the long distance dart can get slightly longer ranges than many of the other dart types in very perfect conditions, it's generally not much better than an Elite dart. And last but not least of the darts currently made by the major dart blaster manufacturers is the X-Shot dart. And I don't even remember what these are called right now. They've changed the name a couple times and they've moved around. It also has an Adventure Force variant because Zuru X-Shot does also make blasters for Walmart. And here again, we have some pretty bad color combinations. You're looking at either a dark gray or a green, with a gray tip no less. Either way, you're not finding most of these darts again after a battle. They have come in a variety of color schemes. You can still buy these orange ones in bulk. I picked a bunch of these up at Target. They're quite cheap and they have a very interesting quality in that they are lighter than all the other darts. So they actually fly very accurately and very far. However, you might notice that the head shape is very different from the head shapes on any of the other darts. The dart winds up being shorter as a result, and the head comes all the way out a little bit past the edge of the dart. That means that they tend to feed very poorly in magazines. It's not impossible to use them in magazines, but they're not very reliable. So if you're using a magazine-fed blaster, I don't recommend the X-Shot darts. So, to recap, if you're looking for a full-length dart for any blaster that shoots standard Elite type darts, I strongly recommend you pick up directly from Dart Zone or from Target the Dart Zone Chili Dart, or if it's easier for you, you can get the Adventure Force Waffle from Walmart. These are simply the best performing, widely available darts on the market currently.
Hey, Editing KT here with a quick note. I've ordered the watermelon or chili darts on Target.com a couple times now, and both times I've actually received the green waffle head darts instead. So when you're ordering from Target, be aware that you may not get the product you were asking for. I suspect at this point that they don't differentiate between those two types of darts in their cataloging system at all. So something to be aware of. Either way, you're getting a good dart.
The one last thing I want to mention about buying full-length Elite darts is that there are a lot of knockoffs available, particularly on eBay and on Amazon. One that you especially need to watch out for is something people in the hobby called FVJs. And it's something that a lot of kids wind up with because parents are reasonably looking for a cheaper option for darts and buy knockoffs. The difference between an original Nerf Elite dart with its squishy rubber head and an FVJ is that the head is hard plastic. Much too hard for the velocities fired by a lot of blasters currently on the market. This particular one is labeled Little Valentine. Little Valentine is a manufacturer of knockoff ammunition, not up to the quality of even Nerf's ammo. FVJ, which is short for full vinyl jacket, are honestly dangerous, and you really should be careful not to buy them. If you order a set of knockoff darts, check the hardness of the head before you hand them off to kids. Now, if we're talking about the typical half-inch width dart, one last thing we need to talk about is the half-length variant of that same dart. This is something that's become extremely popular among hobbyists and people building their own blasters. There was a realization that if you cut the dart down to half its length and you have less mass, it flies more accurately, farther, and faster. For a long time, people created their own darts. This could be somewhat dangerous because people would sometimes use unsafe materials in the dart heads, but the first company to come along and start actually manufacturing half-length darts was Worker. Worker is a company that makes modification parts for Nerf blasters and other blasters, and now actually designs a lot of their own blasters that you can buy. This is a Worker Generation 3 dart. Worker darts perform quite well. You typically have to go to specialty online shops to buy them. Certain versions of them have difficulty with the glue that attaches the head to the dart, but they're good darts. Half-length darts are typically fired out of blasters in the Dart Zone Pro line, or 3D printed community designed blasters that specifically use narrow magazines to fire them. For example, this is a Dart Zone Pro 15 round magazine that comes with the Dart Zone Pro Mark III. Now, the next company to kind of step up and start manufacturing short-length darts was Dart Zone when they started to release the Dart Zone Pro line. This is the original Dart Zone Pro short dart. Again, it's a great dart. It flies very, very well. It's gray and orange. They're very difficult to find. The orange tip gets buried. All you're looking for is gray foam. Also available was the bamboo dart, as mentioned before, which comes in a half-length variant. Works quite well, especially in springers because of the reduced friction. Interestingly enough, the Flywheeler Dart Zone Pro Mark III comes with a color variant of this dart with a different head shape that more closely matches the Ruby dart. Most of these dart head combos are essentially similar. Here's the Ruby short dart. This is currently my favorite short dart on the market. Again, for one simple reason, it's red. The Dart Zone darts are built very, very well, and this is a version of it that's visible on the ground. So as far as I'm concerned, right now, if you're gonna go to the store and buy brand new darts, the only ones that I would consider are Dart Zone's Chili Dart, the various Ruby Dart varieties, or the Adventure Force Waffle Head Dart. They're all cheaper and better than anything Nerf is making, and more accurate than any other brand's dart as well. I'll have links to all of these darts down in the description. You can compare the prices for yourself and look around at different shops. Make sure you also check out my guides to other dart types, as well as to high impact rounds such as Rival and Hyper, which if aren't out now will come out soon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the field.